podcast starts now. Wow, 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 wow. Welcome to StraightioLab. We are recording for the first time in a while, and so it feels so fresh and so new.
I mean, people don't realize this kind of peek behind the curtain rarely really delivers on the drama we want it to, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. And it is that we really have not recorded a normal episode, non-Patreon episode, since November. So this is not only our first episode recording of the new year, it is our first episode of like winter. I'll say it.
Winter. Yeah.
First episode of winter. There have also, I will say, not to immediately make this into sponsored content for our own paid tier, but in the meantime, there have been nonstop revelations from both of us in the Patreon episodes that the normal listeners, the casual listeners, have no idea about.
Of course. How could they?
And by the way, I'm not gonna repeat them here.
No, I forgot them as soon as I said them.
But both of us have revealed personal updates, professional updates, political updates. We're both changing political parties.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking that there have been a lot of updates on the Patreon. And so if you want to know them, go there. And if you want us to be sort of personalityless and palatable for the range of American tastes, then I guess you can stick with the free episodes.
Wow, this is a hard pitch up top, and it is an interesting sign from right back from break. I will have to share a personal update, which is that I'm in LA. And that needs to be said because you are on Zoom, essentially.
I'm on Zoom, and you and our guest, who is not allowed to speak yet, are in studio together, by the way, with our producer, who normally is not physically in the room with us. So I could not feel more left out. And I'll say it, I'm also sick, and I'm also not in the normal place in my home that I record because of my Wi-Fi issues. So I feel pushed aside. I feel put in a box.
Yeah. I mean, our guest said, should we all record on Zoom so George doesn't feel so alone? And I said, I think he needs this. Mm-hmm. I think he will live through this and he will come out a stronger podcaster than ever before. And I actually, in this conversation, I also said I have a bomb to drop.
Yeah, well, which I would love to hear.
Yeah. So I was re-listening to our Amber Ruffin episode, the last episode that came out. Mm-hmm. And in that episode, I was talking about my hospital stay.
Yes.
And, we joked that because we were recording it so far in advance, maybe by the time you listen to it, I'll be back in the hospital. Guess what?
Oh, no.
When it came out on Tuesday, I was back in the hospital.
What the hell?
I went to the hospital in Los Angeles, California, Beverly Hills, no less.
Beverly Hills?
Yeah.
Why did you go to the hospital in Beverly Hills?
Well, because I need the best.
Okay, go off.
What am I going to? What, I'm going to go to the hospital in the valley?
Wow.
I'd rather be found dead.
Do you think we sort of cursed it by releasing that episode into this time period, and then it almost like affected you from across time and space?
I fully think I've been cursed. I think I've been cursed in many different ways because now I'm Taylor Swift fan, seeing numbers and patterns everywhere I shouldn't. And I guess what was wrong with me? One of my kidneys was fully blocked. Okay.
Is that related to the reason you were in the hospital the first time?
No.
What the hell?
A fully different issue. And guess what? Guess who said she needs to look at my kidneys? Past guest Yamanika Saunders. I've been cursed.
Oh my God, she did say that. Why did she say that? Because
She had sight. She could see through me.
Yeah.
Instantly, and she knew something was wrong.
I think she said that because you were saying something along the lines of like that you think that a smoothie that says it's all fruit really is all fruit. And she was like, you are being such an impressionable Midwestern white boy.
Yeah, that's true.
And she goes, I need to look at your kidneys. Yeah. Because you've been eating all wrong. And she was right.
She needed to. But it wasn't because of diet, first and foremost.
Okay. Sorry to shame.
First and foremost, it was not my fault. I'm completely guilt-free. In fact, it was kind of Lady Gaga's Born This Way. They say I've had it since I was a child.
Okay, so, and that is, not to stress you out, this is different completely than the medical issues you were having in New York, different than the ones Matthew's dad has been helping you with.
So when I had the issues in New York, they did a CAT scan and they saw that something was up with the kidney, but they were like, but it was unrelated. And they were like, you should get that looked at, but it's not urgent because we think it's like something you've had for a long time. And in fact, the doctor in LA he was like, he kept saying, it looks like a sausage. He kept saying, it looks like a sausage.
Wait, what kind of accent is that?
It was sort of Long Island.
But he's in LA. He's in Beverly Hills.
Well, no. So that was the New York doctor. He was like, you should eventually get this looked at. It looks like a sausage. And I was like, this guy is so insane. That's not the reason I'm here. Shut up.
Yeah.
Then the doctor in LA spoke like a dramatic actor. And he was like, it looks like a sausage.
Oh, okay, Anthony Hopkins.
And then I was like, oh my God, I completely believe you. You're perfect.
Totally.
It looks exactly like a sausage. It's an exact replica of a sausage. And he said he's never seen such a large tube in his life.
Oh my God. Wow. Well, first of all, I will say it's interesting for you to believe in the gravitas of the LA doctor more than the New York doctor, when in fact, the only reason the LA doctor has that gravitas is because he's a struggling actor trying to make it in the Shakespeare world. Whereas the New York doctor actually is a better medical doctor and is just from Long Island.
I mean, the way that my LA doctor was literally like checking Actors Access while he was like looking at my kidney, I was like, you need to calm down and focus. Like smoking a cigarette, like doing a James Dean. Like I was like, enough. Let's focus on the job here.
Yeah, he was auditioning for Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, he was shadowing.
He was shadowing a real doctor, yeah.
Yeah, but the real doctor was also at an audition, so he was just doing it himself.
Well, how are you feeling?
Honestly, better. They did a surgery.
They did a surgery?
I got a surgery on Tuesday, and then I recovered on Wednesday, and then Thursday I went back to work, and I was kind of scared, but then it ended up being fine.
Okay, I don't want to make this about me, but like... I just can't... I can't believe it is Saturday and I found out today that you had surgery on Tuesday. You are my closest. You are the person I talk to the most in my life.
Well, I knew we'd be talking on Saturday, so I was like, I'll just wait till Saturday.
This is literally like when I told you I was engaged in a Patreon episode. I think we actually like need to reassess how like creator pilled we have become. Because this is a slippery slope. Like, we can't be waiting to tell each other major life news when we're on mic.
This is so true. Oh my God.
This is I don't like this for either of us.
But we're not good at texting.
We do text most days.
That's true. But what am I gonna do? Hey, I'm getting surgery. And then it's like,
yeah.
Well, I called Matthew's dad. He approved it.
I'm sorry. So Matthew's dad knows, but I don't.
Yeah, basically.
That is absolutely iconic.
No, Matthew's dad and I are really tight.
He does
now.
have, there is doctor-patient confidentiality, which is why even though before when you were in touch with him, he would tell me, I just spoke to Sam, whatever, but he would never tell me the details because he's not allowed to.
Yeah.
But I guess this time it was so private that he didn't even tell me that he was in touch.
Yeah, we didn't. He's allowed. I've told him. I said I don't believe in privacy.
Yeah,
post it.
Oh yeah, he's posting your colonoscopy photos on his Finsta.
The colo pics.
Yeah, colo pics. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're safe.
Thank you. Yeah. And this time I did it without even posting a close friend saying, guess what, I'm in the hospital.
I know, you didn't even post a close friend. I will say, past guest Sarah Haggie today posted a close friend's post that she's in the hospital. I both responded to it and texted her to be like, are you okay? Never texted me back. And then posted another close friend that was like, I'm fine. So people really need to, with regards to their health, actually, and their personal life, really question the relationship to social media and the relationship to Patreon podcasting.
Yeah.
Because we are losing our humanity.
The creator mindset is the dark, dark path that as a society we have gone down. And,
No, it really is true. And it's not just for actual creators. It's for everyone.
well, because everyone's a creator.
Everyone's a creator.
Or they're dead.
Or they're dead.
And I mean, we don't want this. It's just our society.
Damn. Well,
Speaking of society.
Yes.
Should we bring in our guest?
I think we should. I had some ideas for things I wanted to say, but I'm like, I'd much rather say them with our guest in the room.
Our guest is in the room with me, actually.
Right. Thank you.
And, you know, we couldn't be happier to have her on today. Please welcome to the podcast, the luminary, Anna Seregina.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Wow. There was something about the walls and the like you in the black turtleneck and the headphones where I was like, no,
Steve Jobs.
luminary is the like is what's needed here.
Thank you.
So how do you feel about the creator mindset? Do you have it, and has it infected you?
Oh, my God. Absolutely. I truly am obsessed with Facebook, and I think I really am, and I think that it is because everybody really is a creator. No one that you know is still there, so the algorithm has nothing to push onto you other than like strangers, from kind of seedy underbellies of life. So I'm getting, I'm clocking in 7 p.m. Rebecca Walsh, 61 years old, New Jersey, is her post suggested to you, and it's just photos of Edwardian men and women. Like, it makes me so sad to look at these gorgeous photos and realize these people weren't alive during social media because they would have had happy followers. That's just what is getting pushed onto my page, and I'm like, I would have never known about this woman and her opinions. And now, it's a digital town square in there. I really am obsessed.
First of all, thank you for pointing out that every Facebook user's name is Rebecca Walsh.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out to Rebecca.
I think at least 75% of Facebook users are named legally Rebecca Walsh.
Legally, absolutely. Yeah.
I actually do miss the Facebook era. Because but obviously it led to everything horrible. But there was a moment.
Well, that's everything horrible. And also Facebook now is different than Facebook then. But Facebook in the beginning was actually community-based and human-centered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now there's no more community, and yet it's so human-centered. They're really trying to get the community back in there, to pipe it back in. No one's around.
Are you posting?
I'm not posting at all.
But I agree with you. I'm like, I've actually been talking about this on stage recently where like, I'm obviously not a regular Facebook user, but once every 2 months, I need to check in and really scroll and just be like, all right, like, let's see where it all began.
It is like fully inpatient behavior on there.
Yeah.
People are walking around the sanatorium, just screaming about whatever into the gardens, and you get a front seat.
One of the darker things, though, is when you do see someone who you know who's like relatively your age and relatively, in a similar lifestyle as you, and they are posting.
Oof.
That is something where I'm like,
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? Is it like,
yeah, what is this?
What mental illness is this one?
Exactly.
Are you free? Are you free from social pressure, or are you?
You're ailing, but in which way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start with your ailing.
Let's just start there.
You're ailing, but in which way?
But in which way?
That's a great sort of book of humor essays title.
Okay, so it's titled
Absolutely.
Which Ailment Western Man?
Yes, which ailment Western man?
Absolutely. Oh my God. It's very funny also because it's like half women, half Rebecca Walsh. And it's like, Facebook groups that are like specifically Edwardian and Victorian men and women. That's a group that I've been bearing witness to. And then sometimes it's like just clearly AI generated whatever.
Facebook just gives like everything about it, even the people.
Yeah.
Even many of the Rebecca Walshes are AI. And that was the case with Facebook from the beginning. Like do you remember the first inklings of that, where when you would get advertisements that were like a tank top that was like, no one does it like LGBTQ Greek American comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I own a long sleeve that is never underestimate a woman who loves the band Korn and was born in December, but I was not born in December. It's because I put I lied about the date, you know. I flipped my age. I go, I want to be older. Be older and be wiser.
But you do like Korn.
No, but I love Korn. So
right,
that part's
of course.
true. So 50-50. I guess not 50. Also, as a woman on this podcast, you know. So
Thank you.
Thank you. So a third a lie, and I paid $60 easy.
Oh, wow.
For this long sleeve. Yeah.
Well, it's a long sleeve.
That's pricey.
It's a long
It's
sleeve.
a long sleeve.
Well, the sleeves are longer.
And
so
you pay
more.
by the sleeve.
You do, because the tank top, you'll see the sleeves are
Exactly.
About $20.
$20.
That's
yeah.
I mean, all that fabric.
The bulk is the sleeve.
You got to make another trip to Mood Fabrics. Designers.
Does that make it work?
Make it work.
Make it work.
I don't care about the price.
I don't care about the price.
Wow.
Your real woman client today loves Korn
And was born in December.
Make it work.
Make it work.
And then Christian Siriano's like, I don't know what to do with this bitch.
He's like, first of all, you're an ugly bitch. Second of all, I fucking love you. Now let's leave those arms, mama.
First of all, you're disgusting, so we are going to work with sleeves.
Yeah.
And you're going to win. You're going to win that week.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Wow.
Wait, George, you did mention you had some luminary topics you wanted to bring up. And I don't want to like prompt you, but
I wish this was a more fully formed thought, and I wrote this down last week, so it might be a little outdated, but after the George Santos chapter of our lives, and then after the Gypsy Rose Blanchard chapter of our lives, I'm thinking we gotta really rethink ironic mascots in our culture. Like, because I'm worried that it's not leading somewhere good.
Yeah, I think this is true. I mean, I feel this way even about like reclaiming bad art, like reclaiming like bad movies and bad music. Like, I'm like, this is kind of a dangerous little path. It was like funny at first. And then it's like, no, stop. It's like we've created a monster.
Well, you know what it is? It's like, it went from being an intellectual pursuit to an anti-intellectual pursuit. It went from being like, we are sifting through the detritus of culture to find something that we can reclaim as queer audiences that were not given what we wanted or whatever. So we're finding queer subtext in movies. We're finding something that's ugly and reclaiming it and sort of like making it fashionable. But that requires a certain level of like cultural voraciousness. Like it requires some level of taste or something. And I think now what's happening is that every day people are just waking up, finding the dumbest possible thing and being like, now that's iconic.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I mean, the Gypsy Rose stuff, I don't quite get. I mean, I feel the George Santos was a little more literal to me. I was like, okay, I get it. He's like a psycho gay guy who like lied in his way into Congress. This story's got legs.
Wait, you don't think Gypsy Rose Blanchard has legs? She killed her mom.
Yeah, but it sounds like it was justified.
Totally.
But I'm like, okay, that's where it loses me. Like, I actually feel.
Oh, you think she's not you think you want her to be a villain?
Yeah, I like feel bad for her.
Well, she's sort of a quintessential glamour girl.
She's Slay Mama.
She's Slay Mama, but she's
glamorous. She's wounded. She's seeking truth.
Yes, Anna. In this podcast, a glamour girl is defined as someone who is glamorous, wounded, and seeking truth. And I would say Gypsy Rose counts.
Wow.
But then it's like, okay, so then she had to go to prison for 8 years. Like, I was like, did she deserve that?
Well, hold on. Now I'm like defending her as an ironic. Obviously, she did not deserve any of it. But I'm just like, you do understand why people would latch onto a character like that.
But I'm just like, where's the catchphrase? What's the vibe? Like, I'm not getting much personality. I'm like, yes, there's story there.
Totally.
We need dialogue.
Did you watch any of the media surrounding her? Like the documentary, the show?
I didn't watch the documentary or the show, but I did watch her interview on The View.
Oh, okay. Because for me, it was like from an early point, she had statement glasses. She had a statement look. She was doing. She was trained to be a star by her mother.
Well, she was iconically dressed, but Munchausen dressed. Like she did not choose these things.
Well, she defined Munchausen style.
Yeah.
But she is very kind of prairie, puff sleeve.
She's prairie.
We're seeing kind of some of the finest minds of our generation
are going prairie.
Prairie and puff sleeve.
Oh, yeah. She has a very dime square aesthetic, for sure.
Very trad calf.
Trad calf. And especially now that she has her boyfriend that she met while in prison.
Husband,
excuse me.
True love.
True. I mean, I do think she is sort of like a human version in her current iteration. She is a human version of Rebecca Walsh on Facebook.
Yes.
There's something where there's like an oversharing element. Like, it's like she is just like, yes, she went through all this stuff, but she's still just like a normal girl. Like, she's not like a singer that had like a bunch of drama. She's just like a girl. And it's like,
I have 3 words for you. Give it time.
Do you think she'll drop a single?
Because when they announce the next season of Dancing with the Stars, we'll see who's just a girl. Gwen Stefani.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I think I do like the element of seeing. I like that her and her husband are like super horny on TV. I think that's kind of funny.
Sure.
That
very sex positive icon.
Kink friendly.
Kink friendly, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't know. So then what I'm like, no, of course. And I think we can all understand why someone like her develops a following, why someone like her becomes memeable. But I'm almost like, let's not latch onto the most obvious cultural figure. You know what I mean? Let's like dig a little deeper.
We're just like looking to make content.
Exactly. Like, of course, the girl who killed her mom is cool.
Of course.
Well, it's this thing that I'm going with where I can never tell if it's like my own personal depression or if like everything's just a little bit less fun.
Yeah, totally.
Like even like memes and stuff. I'm like, I used to find them so funny. And now I'm like, okay, we're doing that now. And it feels so much more hack. It feels so much more mechanical.
Oh, the way that like you see something happening in real time and then you can immediately, like That's So Raven, have a vision of every chapter of the next 3 months, how it's going to evolve in the public consciousness and on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, truly, where is the fun in that?
Where's the fun in that? And it used to feel new and fresh to like take this like, you know, weird figure from the public and make them a star.
You're thinking of Ken Bone, of course.
Oh, of course. Ken Bone was the Gypsy Rose of his time.
Absolutely.
Oh
my God.
And he didn't even do it through Munchausen. He did it all on his own.
By charm.
Yeah, he just did it by wearing a quarter zip.
Oh my God, he wore a quarter zip. The world changed.
It was back when it was enough to just wear a quarter zip on TV.
That's all it was. But recently I did mention pregnant submarines, the 2 words, to someone in casual conversation. They didn't know. I had to go back. I was tasked with reintroducing Ken Bone into the
Wait. I don't know the pregnant submarines.
Oh, he was on Reddit and someone found his username and he was posting in these like
Ken Bone?
Yes. Oh, guys.
No, this is good. This is good. Keep going.
All right. Well, if I must, I mean, he's on these subreddits and he's really into, I think, just having sex with pregnant women, I think that's what he was into. And so he was like, and he used the words, they are like beautiful submarines, which is very endearing because it's not really sexy.
I find that very, actually, like, that endears me more to him than than before.
But that's the problem.
Yeah, totally.
Then you're like, it's cute that he doesn't know whom he's going to vote for.
Yeah.
It's sweet. He thinks they're pregnant submarines.
Well, he is sort of the male version of Rebecca Walsh.
He really is.
He really is.
Absolutely. He's RW.
Wow.
I'm looking for Rebecca Walsh is one end of a spectrum. I'm looking for the other end of the spectrum.
Are we talking the spectrum of normal human? Like the spectrum of like average American?
Well, if there's people who are making content, they're making do with what they can make content about. And so they're like...
It's almost like there's Rebecca Walsh and then there's Jeffree Star. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yes.
There's like, we're trying to make spectacle out of my oven. That's Rebecca Walsh. You know, like, we got a new oven and you guys have to see the placement of this oven.
Right. And then Jeffree Star is like, I will murder.
Absolutely.
For 1 million views, I will murder.
For 1 million views, I will murder. Please vote.
I have to say, having watched Jeffree Star, I must admit, tail between my legs, I was kind of a MySpace. I was part of a certain not even counterculture, just some part of a certain moment in 2005. Sure. And so seeing Jeffree Star, his star kind of pop off like that in him still be around is kind of crazy, and then be so serve cunt so hard and be so awful is so interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it like, again, I'm not making an original point here, but it just is about who can do who can consistently create the most.
Yes.
And who is the most evil. And those people will win the content game.
I agree. Yeah, that's why I think my theory is that it's all when commercials became funny.
Yeah.
That's the genesis of like game over. Everything's done. Everything's in the toilet. Culture's done. Because if commercials are funny, also not an original thought, but like if commercials are funny and then like whatever mass production and, you know, what am I thinking? What's the word? Commodification of like whatever, you know, like I think it was like Tim and Eric made an Absolute Vodka commercial or something.
I remember it well.
Done. We're done.
But I liked that commercial.
That's the problem. That you go, it could be so cool to buy vodka.
I didn't ever say that, and You're never
always saying
bought.
That. You're always
in an interesting, you know, Absolute Vodka does specifically cater to Sam and my taste, which is that it does gay marketing and it does Tim and Eric marketing, and that exact Venn diagram is where we live, really.
Of course.
And yet, I've never bought Absolute.
No.
Right. A lot to chew on here.
Should we do our first segment now?
Yes.
Wow. And our first segment is called Straight Shooters. And in this segment, we're going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions to gauge your familiarity with and complicity in straight culture. Basically, it's this thing or this other thing. And the only rule is you can't ask any follow-up questions or we will scream and yell at you, which is okay.
Okay.
Oh. That's a new element.
Yeah, it's okay to yell.
That's LA Sam.
Yeah, it's okay to yell.
Is it okay to yell? That's actually a larger existential question, I think.
It's actually okay to yell.
Yeah.
It's more honest.
Yeah. Well, what? I'm going to bottle up my feelings?
Totally.
And then what? Do a school shooting? No, I'm going to yell.
That is sort of the central question.
I'm going to do a school shooting because Anna didn't do the segment right because I didn't get to yell. So I'm going to yell.
Yeah. I guess yelling is like targeting one person. And if you don't yell, then you end up causing harm to even more people.
A community.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, and obviously a school shooting is more of a metaphor. But I think, you know, it's like if you're not yelling at the one person, then you're going out and being a terrible coworker. You're going out and being a reckless driver. But then, of course, it becomes the, you know, railroad question of like, do you save one person or save multiple people?
Right. The test.
Train track, not railroad.
Trains and rails. You know,
yeah.
I don't see a difference between the two.
But also Tesla.
Yeah, put them all in a Tesla and then get back to me.
Everybody in a Tesla. We're going to the school shooting. Come on.
Because we didn't yell.
So.
Yeah. You know, this is why everyone needs a boxing class. I've just realized that's actually the fix for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more violence.
More approved violence. More space for violence.
Curated violence.
We
got to curate
the violence. Yeah. Of course, we're going to want violence for human beings.
Obviously, of course.
Okay. It's in our veins.
Mm-hmm. Some more than others.
That is such an interesting thing to me when people point to the worst of human behavior as the foundation, as human nature. Like you look around, most people at any given time are not murdering. They are not, neglecting their children. They are not having giant blowout fights. And yet, because some people are, people look at them and they say that's human nature.
That's human nature.
But why is the minority human nature?
Well, I do think that people with bad human nature are often the most, they're like the ones that sort of crave power too. I think there's something about, even though it's a minority, it's people that want to shape things.
Totally.
See, for me, you would go, I guess it's human nature to be watching 7 seasons of Wife Swap.
Yeah.
It's just human nature.
It's human nature to be like, I'm tired.
A gay podcaster.
Yeah, totally. That's human nature. Yeah.
Well, God, we talk about this all the time, but it goes back to the reason democracy is flawed is because it privileges the types of people who want to run for president. Yes. But you actually have to force like a random mom to be the president of the United States, whether she wants to or not.
Yeah, it has to be Hunger Games style.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that sense, it actually can be democratic because someone needs to be violently forced into being the president.
And that's why Battlestar Galactica was really onto something.
Yes.
The secretary, school secretary.
Yeah, we need to shoot some secretaries into space and see what happens.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Absolutely. 2024.
The future is here.
The future's here.
Okay, so are you ready to play?
Yes.
Okay, let me open my notes app. Okay, Anna. Facelift or forklift?
Forklift.
Plain Jane or Lazy Susan?
Lazy Susan.
Okay, a triple threat or a double major?
Triple threat.
The Nike swoosh or that guy's a douche?
The Nike swoosh.
Blue no matter who or blue skadood, you can too?
Oh, Steve. Blue skidooed so you can too. Reluctantly.
Shooting the shit or taking the piss?
Oh.
Ooh. Taking the piss.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oohing and awing at the MoMA or goo-gooing and gagaing at your mommy?
Oh.
Goo-gooing, gagaing at your mommy.
Yeah, you gotta.
I think. You have to.
It's such a classic.
It's a classic.
Okay. The Eras Tour, the Paris Review, or Daenerys Targaryen?
Wow.
Wow.
That's huge. The Paris Review.
Yeah, you gotta go
sorry.
intellectual.
No,
I
she's
know.
wearing a black turtle.
I'm sorry, it's because I'm wearing a black turtle.
Yeah.
I actually have to say, I do sort of think Eras Tour, Paris Review, Daenerys Targaryen, and I didn't plan it this way, are sort of the three kinds of people.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa. That's a big one.
It's like pop culture obsessed, basic, sort of flamboyantly intellectual, wants to be seen as a reader,
Yes.
and then like nerd, maybe alt-right.
Right. Of
It's
course.
tough though, because I could see myself in each of these categories.
Absolutely.
Totally. No, I think that's why we're so well-rounded, you and I.
Wow.
That's so true. We're so well-rounded.
This is actually, I think this could be like a personality test where it's like, which one are you more?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And each person is like, my sun is here, my moon is here, whatever.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And in that trinary, do you find yourself feeling well-rounded?
Kind of. Yeah. I'm watching Tar and I'm going, I can see myself in a few different scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Film.
totally.
You're saying
Yeah.
so true.
I'm saying so true, but to parts that you would go, really? So, huh, really?
That part?
That part? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find myself constantly torn between my Paris Review and my Eras Tour sides, while the world is actually becoming more and more Daenerys Targaryen.
Yes.
And so that makes me feel isolated and alienated from my fellow people.
I'm finding myself more resentful of my Eras Tour side recently. My Daenerys Targaryen feels the most on the back burner, but I also don't. But I think I am in my Eras Tour the most, but I'm resentful of it.
Interesting.
And the Paris Review, I've left it. I left it in New York. Let's just say
wow.
that.
wow.
That's
Yeah,
fascinating.
here I'm a Grubhub Plus member. I'm watching Survivor. I'm,
But are you like, I'm going back to it? So it's just I'm putting it on pause.
I'm putting it on pause.
Okay.
It just doesn't feel right being intellectually here.
It really doesn't,
It
which is
doesn't.
why I struggle so much.
Yeah. It doesn't. It doesn't fit, and so I'm embracing that.
Because your hair is always blowing in the wind.
Oh, I mean, the sun. How are you supposed to be moody?
Exactly.
You literally,
it's hard.
You look silly.
You have to try harder.
It's insane.
Yeah. If you are being Paris Review in LA, you're like Emily the Strange.
Oh my God, of course.
You're like being the one goth girl in school, and it's like, why bother?
Absolutely.
Like, you're gonna stick out so much. Just
You're
fucking be Eras
the
Tour and get it over
t-shirt-
with.
Totally.
Yeah.
The t-shirt that you all laugh because I'm different. I laugh because you're all the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing
Exactly.
is that kind of, not to bring this up, but as an immigrant,
Oh, and say
you
that.
know, you go, oh, I'm going to choose the way in which people make fun of me, and you gravitate toward Hot Topic.
Sure.
That's easier
Sure.
to kind of, it's easier to be Emily Strange than, I was going to say Ivan the Terrible, but that's actually not what I was thinking about.
Do you feel like you are more Emily the Strange or Happy Bunny?
Oh my God, Emily's Strange, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I always felt more connected to Happy Bunny. That's what it's called, right? It's like the bunny that always has something inappropriate to say.
It's like smiling.
To me, I was like, this is the essence of comedy. It's like a bunny, and then under it says, I want to kill all women or whatever.
Oh, I thought it was so genius. I was like, this is so fresh. This is so now.
I have to say, to be honest, I don't relate to either of those. But you know the Hallmark cards where it's like a woman with really long boobs and she's stepping on them and she's like, stepping on my boobs again.
Yeah.
I guess it's Monday.
Yeah.
So that I kind of am there.
And by the way, bring her back because Hallmark cards are not that smart anymore.
No, she was so smart.
She was smart. That was smart
She's always
comedy.
stepping on her boobs. She's falling, tripping over them.
Always tripping. And by the way, birthday cards that make fun of how old someone is are funny. That is way better than something that's like overly saccharine or something. Like just if and by the way, if you're someone who wants to be funny but maybe doesn't have it in you, buy the ready-made card with a woman with the boobs.
Yeah,
please.
Exactly.
Why not?
I mean, it's body positive.
It's so body positive. She's tossing one over the neck. It's flying around like a scarf. Okay, we're going to Paris. Okay.
Yeah. Talk about Paris Review.
Absolutely. My Paris Review, I hated it. You know, that's the...
Yeah,
that's good. Classic. That's really good. Well, I think you got 999 doves.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought that was incredible.
Thank you.
Do we want to get into the topic?
Yeah.
I think we have to. I see people
must.
With guns outside that are saying, if you don't get into the topic now.
Well, it's all the people that couldn't yell at home.
They couldn't yell.
Are now doing studio shootings in the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Studio podcast.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot of studios here. So,
Absolutely.
So the Eden's
you've
good.
Seen that. The Eden's really good. Oh, we're Eden.
So, Anna, we would love to know what straight topic you brought with you today and potentially even what makes it straight.
Okay. Kitchen islands.
Genius.
Just putting a kitchen island, seeing the potential in a space and seeing the potential in a kitchen island in that space.
I think a kitchen island is such a smart one. It is so obviously like suburban and it's so like even something's got to give core.
Yes.
Where it's like it's aspirational. Like a kitchen island is aspirational.
100%.
And they speak to me.
Yeah. Thick. If you can get a chunky.
With the wood and the I mean,
don't even get me started on a kitchen island with a sink.
Oh my God. Talk about the epitome of wealth.
Luxury.
You hath arrived.
It's on a very literal level, visually, it's obviously suburban. It's obviously family values.
Yes.
It is like all the kids are in the kitchen and one of them just slipped on some spaghetti that, fell.
Yeah.
But then in a deeper sense, it's a way to like claim your space. It's a little bit like pissing and being like, this is where I live. Like you move into a house and it's not yours until you literally build a structure in it. Yes. It is sort of in the same conversation as it's a colonialist mindset.
I agree. There's something very also primal about it.
Yes, totally. Exactly.
Also the implication that the kitchen is a workspace.
Yes.
Is very like... is true, but it's so like, no, we don't need to go out. We have food here.
Yes. A social kind of, you bring the socialization to your kitchen.
Yeah. Right. But the effort there, this is what's interesting, is like the kitchen naturally is a space of communal coming together. But you move into a suburban house. You say, I've done everything right. I've had my 5 kids. I have my beautiful husband. Why don't I feel naturally that sense of communal coming together? Maybe an island will help, but by that point, you've already lost.
Absolutely.
It's a way to force the communal. It's like, it's almost too perfect. It's a way to force that kind of communal eating.
Because it also is like, vaguely utilitarian.
Yes.
But not actually.
Yeah.
It's actually not super useful in the way that they're typically used, which is just for display and taking up space.
Exactly.
It's actually anti-utilitarian.
And what you're saying, taking up space, is so spot on. It's like actually making a kitchen island betrays a fear of blank space. You are so afraid of what might happen if there was space to breathe that you're like, close that down now.
Yes, absolutely.
If we don't have a kitchen island here, there will be an extramarital affair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What? Oh, you want me to have all that blank space so my husband can have an affair on it? Yeah. I don't think so. We're closing that up.
Closing that up, of course. Yeah. Of course. And then all the negotiations with the contractors.
Yes.
I mean, that's, indulging something.
Talk about the fantasy is like to have a relationship with a contractor is like one of the great
one of the pillars of straight culture.
One of the pillars of straight culture. And even like the pillars of like, to me, like one of the things that makes me feel like I'm fully an adult, like there is no shred of childhood left inside of me. Mm-hmm. I'm calling the contractor who I have a rapport with, and I'm saying, Bill, when are you going to make time for my wall?
Absolutely.
I think I both want it and fear it because I know that once I have it, I can never go back.
These are like your friends from high school, the general you, maybe not the specific you, that they see you, they go, you're so young. I'd love to catch up. Unfortunately, I have obligations. I have to get on the phone with Bill.
I have to meet the contractor.
It's so sweet that you just have the time to do whatever it is you want.
Yeah, I see what you're doing on Instagram. It's so fun. It's so cool.
Fun. We have to catch up. Unfortunately, I don't have time. I got to go.
I have to meet the contractor.
Bill. I have to meet Bill. So,
yeah.
God, what a fantasy.
Well, the contractor also fulfills this double, almost contradictory need for the woman in the relationship, which is she gets to be a little flirty with him and a little bit like, okay, he's bending over and I can see his little plumber's crack. Mm-hmm. And he's more muscular than my husband and more rugged. But on the other hand, she's also like, well, I'm so happy my husband wears a suit and isn't a contractor.
Yes.
It like reinforces the aspirational upper middle class, the superiority of the aspirational upper middle class lifestyle that she is aspiring to.
Totally. And then she also gets to kind of cosplay as a builder herself.
Yes.
Generalizing, of course. But I would think.
Well, no, I fully, she's the director.
And then then the husband gets to go, she basically built the house.
Exactly.
With her
well,
hands,
that's, and now and so it's like if we're in a sort of 50s, 60s environment as well, let's say the wife doesn't have a career.
No.
But in this pocket of her life, she gets to be the boss. She gets to be the managing, the manager of the contractor.
Exactly.
She's CEO for the one Thursday a month that he comes to build the kitchen island.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. I gotta get a contractor.
You must. Do you? I just thought, remember the Katy Perry documentary?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's a big part of the mythology.
It's a big part of the mythology.
I obviously love and respect. There's a little part where where her disinterested assistant, who has to like pretend to be her friend,
who's maybe also related to her somehow,
possibly.
I think maybe her sister,
maybe. Does a 2-camera interview where she's like, and people think that Katy just comes onto the stage and performs, but no, she has say over every part of the tour. And then they cut to her Katy Perry wearing a little hard hat, being like, can we lower the banner a little bit? Actually, can we put it back up? Yeah, it's so good where people are like, she actually gets her hands really dirty with the design of this tour. She does every part. That's what I'm thinking of, the wife getting to be like, can we move it half an inch over,
Totally.
So
but it's so funny. Like Katy Perry, talk about someone, regardless of what you think of her, is clearly a very successful musical artist. Yeah. And yet the implication is that we can't take her seriously as a businesswoman unless she's doing manual labor, unless she's doing something masculine coded. Like we actually have to see her hitting a nail with a hammer in order to be like, you know what? She has something to say.
Yeah, she has something to say. She gets on the forklift. She's going to move She's going to move the banner over. Okay.
Yeah.
She's going to take her hat off. She's going to go into the stage. That's how incredible she is.
Wow.
Hat to heels. So
incredible. What's the LGBTQ plus version of the kitchen island?
This is a really good question. I'm going to just free associate. I haven't decided yet what I think of this.
Yeah.
Gonna put 2 words into the conversation. We can discuss them. Breakfast nook.
Yeah.
Is a breakfast nook also exactly what I'm talking about? Like a forced way to pretend there's some communal spirit that there isn't? Or is it something more authentic?
I think a breakfast nook is an interesting option because one, I think they're way less common than kitchen islands.
Yes.
Two, they are completely impractical, which does sort of lead into both of those fit more of a queer narrative, of course.
Yeah.
And yet there's something about it that's still not quite it for me.
Yeah.
And almost because it's only, I feel like a breakfast nook is a space in a home created by real estate companies in order to sell homes. I don't think anyone actually ever is like, we're using that. No one, I've actually never seen one. I've just seen the text breakfast nook. I'm not quite sure if it's real or if it's a fiction.
Might be more, I feel like LA, maybe more kind of
Nook culture.
Maybe Nook culture here. Yeah, maybe New York, smaller living spaces.
I'm going to start seeing a lot of nooks.
So.
I think I think you're not going to see one in an apartment in New York. But I have to say, a nook to me, I agree with you, of course, that it can't be user friendly. Like when you have it, you're going to immediately regret it. And yet, I want one.
It's cute.
It's cute. The word, the image. I love the word nook.
Yes.
Nook, cozy.
Somewhere it's like if I have a breakfast nook, I will read the physical newspaper. I'm not going to be on my phone.
I want a breakfast nook in the same way that I want to be in Maine in the winter. It's like there's some fantasy there.
Chunky kind of sweater, scarf, of course.
And like everyone's like, well, of course it would be miserable, but there would be moments when you're cozier than you've ever been in your whole life.
I feel like it's Kitchen Island's like, this is us taking back the space. Breakfast nook is like decided for you.
Totally. You know what I think there's an argument maybe to be made for this being the queer version. You know, the whole thing about conversation pits?
Yes.
Obviously, they did not last past the 70s, and now it's all about looking up conversation pits on Tumblr,
and
etc.
posting them once a year and being like, I wish.
And being like, bring back conversation pits.
Why is no one talking about conversation pits?
Why is no one talking about conversation pits? I'm an underpaid associate editor at a digital website that's going to shut down tomorrow.
Look at the 10 best conversation pits that you wish you could have.
But I think as much as it has become this lame thing that we have to post about once a year, the dream... Again, it's that dream of communal interaction, but I do think there's something a little more horny, a little more like 70s key party about it in a way that makes it less family values and straight than a kitchen island.
Yeah.
And I almost think the fact that it never stuck and the fact that it is sort of like frozen in this moment in time makes it more queer. It's sort of like the queer art of failure.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just they're two very different outfits. You know, when I'm picturing Kitchen Island, I'm again picturing fake nails.
Yes.
Like a nice, thick acrylic nail tapping across the granite.
Yeah.
Thinking about what we're going to have for dinner.
It's a little bit Carmela Soprano.
It's a little, absolutely. Breakfast Nook is kind of like, I can see myself, reading a physical newspaper, you know.
It's a little Zoe Chanel.
It's a little Zoe Chanel, of course.
Yeah.
Carmela, you could say, you know, maybe actually Zoe Chanel and Carmela, straight versus queer. I could see them being reversed.
Do you know what's interesting, though?
Wow. Yeah.
Think about like Carmela and Zoe Chanel. Gun to your head, who is the more conservative and who is the more progressive vision of womanhood? Could not tell you.
I mean, that is one of the hardest questions that you could ask a person.
Yes, because in some ways, both of them are insanely liberated, and in some ways, both of them are stuck in patterns that they will never escape.
When I think about now, I'm going Zoe Chanel, full conservative.
Well, I think
has to be.
Here's my, aesthetically, Carmela is so much more liberated. I think she is like living out loud and not following any rules. And Zoe Chanel is like, aesthetically a trad wife, like so conservative, etc. But like internally, Carmela more conservative and Zoe more radical. I
mean, Carmela is quite literally like living in a patriarchy.
Yes, although Zoe somewhat recently marrying a property brother, you go okay.
But then she's so clearly the top in that relationship.
Sure.
which is interesting. Like she really went and found a kind of like humiliating man.
Yeah, a sub to
true.
walk on a little leash.
That's true. It's little.
So she could put her little polka dot heels on his neck or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're going to Erewhon.
They're going to Erewhon.
Sure.
You know, I think Erewhon is the pizza of LA.
Damn.
That's so true. It's so true.
Because people here are like, it's like tongue in cheek. Like, it's like, we know it's LA, get you an Erewhon. And everyone makes that joke. Every single person is like, get you an Erewhon. And then like, but then everyone's like, but I am going to go get Erewhon.
But seriously, let's go.
Yeah,
of course.
And I think people in New York are like, pizza. And it's like, but actually, do you want pizza?
But let's get pizza.
Right.
Wow, that's so true.
Huh. Although pizza is so like the working man's food in New York. You know what? Because I think tacos is the pizza of LA.
But that's so literal.
I
think.
I see. I see.
I actually don't think people are going to get tacos at the rate in which the media portrays them.
No.
I have been here many, many times, and I'm always the one that's like, tacos? And everyone's like, oh, I guess it's been a while since I've had a taco.
Yeah, totally. That's always the response. Yes, exactly. Right. You're kind of distilling the essence as well.
Yeah.
Because the essence is working class. I mean, I guess that's a little silly to say that, Manhattan, working class.
True,
by the seat of your pants, bootstrap, kind of.
Yeah.
But it does feel like LA. It's like, yes, the joke's on us, but seriously, folks, but I do like it.
Yeah.
So
well, that's how I feel with LA. That's how I feel about all sort of health coded food, like a grain bowl, squirrel, like all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, I know it's a punchline, but it's also quite literally the reason to live.
Of course.
Like to me, getting an actually like impeccably made grain bowl is one of the great joys of my life.
Yes. And then you go somewhere where that's just not really accessible.
Yes.
And you
correct.
go.
Like New York City.
Like New York City.
Yeah.
Where are you? Okay, New York City. Okay, here's a gripe. Okay.
Okay. I love this.
I mean, I want to be, of course, everything I could ever want. But I would like to stay hydrated. And yet, how do you do that?
You don't bring a water bottle?
No, I do, but where do you pee?
Oh.
It's so not
Starbucks?
No, you're right.
I mean,
No, the public bathroom situation is
insane.
Extremely crazy in New York.
But counterpoint, where do you pee in LA? Your car?
Literally.
Any grocery store.
Really?
Any grocery store always has a bathroom, and you're always near a grocery store.
Also, the parks here always have like multiple bathrooms in a way that's kind of surprising to me.
Yes, totally. It's just not that. Also, you're in your car, but you're like your home is kind of accessible. I feel like New York, you're out for the day.
Oh, I know what the answer is actually. Bars.
You pee in bars.
And they don't, but you don't, and like some of them will be mean about it, but most of them you can just be like, I'm going to pee. And they're like, okay.
I think you can really get away with it most places.
Yeah.
New York, I've tried and I felt so humiliated.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. See, to me, it's such a nice thing to be like, well, I guess I have to get a matcha. Because I have to pee.
Well, that's fun too.
That is the problem, is that you end up getting 10 matchas a day. And the matcha budget is out of this world.
For sure. Yeah. No, you're broke.
You're broke. My matcha accountant is just swimming in my money because are you kidding?
Yeah. Your matcha accountant's super nice though.
So nice.
I've always found that a matcha accountant is like when I'll know I'm an adult, because I'm like, I'm calling my matcha accountant and I'm like, I gotta go meet Bill.
I gotta meet Bill. It's so cute that you do your kind of socializing, but I have to meet Bill. Yeah.
The matcha accountant is like the type of thing that someone moves to LA and they're like, everyone's so crazy here. They have matcha accountants. Oh, and then a year in, they're like, listen, I was skeptical at first, but you really can't not have one.
Yes. Oh my God.
Well, it's like, yeah, if you don't like LA, it's like, do you have a matcha accountant? Because like once you have one, you'll like LA.
You're going to love it.
Like, of course, it's like a little bit less accessible, but like once you do have a matcha accountant, you're going to like LA.
Yeah.
That's what changed it for me. It took a few years, and then once I realized it, I love it now.
Damn. Well, folks, expect way more New York versus LA content over the next few months.
I'm loving it.
Oh, and honestly, me too. And I actually think it's so disgusting when people are like, I know New York or LA. Because it's like, well, actually, they are different.
They're different.
And actually, people live in one and not the other, because you can't live in two places. Even if you're bicoastal, you're living in one.
I wish you could.
Well, they're also both, it's like different kinds of insane people live in each. And they are different enough than the rest of America, that it actually is an interesting conversation.
Yeah. Yes.
Justice for New York versus LA conversation.
No, I completely
100%.
agree. I completely agree. Also, what more do we have? Like, all we can do is negotiate our differences and then come together on the proverbial kitchen island to sort of figure out where we all fit into this world and whether we are Aerys Tor Paris Review or Daenerys Targaryen.
Absolutely.
Like, if we're going to suddenly say that talking about our differences and our similarities is cliche and outdated, then what is left?
Absolutely. And then we get into like, I don't see color. Like, it's
exactly.
Oh my God.
No, exactly.
Yeah. If you can't debate Carmela versus Zoe, you're racist.
You're racist.
You're racist.
It's so simple. You're racist. Yeah.
You're racist.
Yeah.
God.
I mean,
and it makes me sick.
I shouldn't have to tell you that.
I shouldn't have to tell you.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's so obvious.
So true.
Do you think Carmela is obviously I think Carmela obviously is pizza and Zoe is Erewhon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess there's no way around it there. Yeah, okay. I was about to be like, is there like a counterintuitive? Okay, no, go on. I want to know.
The bangs. That's a little pizza.
Well, that's pizza. That's posing with pizza.
That's posing with pizza.
It's not eating it necessarily.
I feel like
it's certainly not pizza by the slice.
It's
going to like it's doing like it's like clam pizza.
Yeah, and it's also like showing up to hang out with the guys with a box of pizza. You know,
Yeah.
it's a little that. Carmela, I feel like she's not posing with Erewhon, but Carmela is like, I feel like she would actually be very open to like probiotics. You know.
Well, yes, and also I actually think Carmela, for her, it's a measure of her upward mobility. She will try Pilates and she will try yoga. And she's so desperate for those things to fulfill her and to give her something that she's not getting at home. Yes. And so I do think she will go to Erewhon, but she'll get like the wrong one and then be pissed about it all day.
Totally. 100%. Absolutely.
I mean, we did with Carmela and Zoe, we did just create the New York versus LA binary again.
Yeah.
We really did. Well, that's what it all comes back to, you know. It's like refeeding the starter. Kind of.
Yeah. Damn, refeeding the starter is really, you're onto something there.
Yeah.
We got to come back to
beautiful.
that.
You have to come back to it.
Huh.
Whoa, that's really smart.
I put on a turtleneck for a reason.
That's true. You know? That's true.
I want to show up. Yeah.
Wow. Would you guys have a kitchen island in your home? Do you already?
I'll come out and say I don't already.
I'll just go ahead and come out and say I don't either.
You know who does? Sam Taggart.
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah.
In New York?
In New York.
Oh my God.
I like an IKEA one.
Sure.
But mostly because our kitchen has no storage and it has like little shelves in it.
Wow.
And we also don't have any countertop space.
So IKEA, so you go of the people.
Well, of course.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say.
No contractors were harmed in the creation of this island.
Kitchen island.
There's no sink. That's for damn sure.
Okay, sure. That's where you get into, wow.
I mean, it's so rough and tumble. It's a really punk rock sort of counterculture kitchen island.
You're queering the narrative of what kitchen islands even are.
Well, at some point you do actually need countertop. And so that's basically what that is.
That's true.
But I do think that's the difference between a New York apartment kitchen island that you get from IKEA and a suburban kitchen island. One is, like, the New York one is out of necessity.
Yeah, exactly. It's like taking, again, it's like taking something that is perfectly utilitarian and functional and is there for a reason, and then making it like such an aesthetic, like decision-based whatever amalgam that it's no longer even really about the function, you know?
Yes.
That's what it feels like. Like having a huge kitchen island where you can't even use the kitchen anymore. That's...
I mean, or homes that have multiple kitchen islands.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're hopping?
I feel this way.
We should do island hopping this summer.
you're going island hopping.
I actually am somewhat jealous of people that can have something that has gone so far from its original purpose that it's like not necessarily practical anymore and it's just aesthetic.
Yes.
Like, because I even think about this, like hats I have trouble with.
Oh, don't get me started on hats.
Because like a baseball hat works perfectly. Like it blocks the sun from my eyes. That's what I wear a hat for. And then it's like, okay, well then what if I want to have, like, I'm on the West Coast today, the place I'm subletting, the person has a cowboy hat in their apartment and I put it on today. And I said, well, this is incredible. And I was like, this, I want to be my whole thing now. And I'm on the West Coast, why can't I be a cowboy? And then it was like, because it has no real purpose, I have no real connection to this, I can't ever wear this.
Right. That's nice. The self-awareness is really beautiful.
So you think I can't wear it?
I honestly, it's the kind of thing where I have to see it to know.
I think you can wear it in New York and not LA is my take.
Really nice.
Interesting.
Good theory.
Okay.
Because it's too it's sort of too literal in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
You're like, oh, I'm in the West, so I'm going to wear a cowboy hat. Whereas in New York, it can be more of a statement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in New York, it's more like, you know, the club cowboy type thing.
Mm-hmm.
There also can just be more whimsy in New York fashion. Counterintuitively, I might add, because you would think LA people would have more whimsy because they all look so stupid. But in fact,
no.
New York people always, even if it's someone wearing all black, they're going to have a little twist somewhere. Like
Absolutely.
there's a sense of humor to how you present yourself.
There's no sense of humor here.
Whereas in LA, it's like, if my little ruffled tank top moves a single centimeter, I will come crashing down emotionally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I really do. It is interesting that people really dress like shit here a lot of the time. It's just so interesting.
It's kind of wild. It actually like brings everyone, like there is like a force that brings everyone down to that level, because you're like, well, I'm not going to be the one sticking out.
Okay. So here's my theory. New York, you know, you go, it's because people ride public transportation together. So you're forced to like be with your neighbor and like be part of community. Here, the public transportation is bad, but the kind of public transportation equivalent is that everybody dresses like shit.
Oh, that's the way you bond.
That's community.
That's community, yeah.
That's community in LA.
Wow.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Very inspiring.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm going to like it here.
Yeah.
Should we do our final segment?
Yeah. Wait, Anna, any final word on kitchen islands?
Well, they're making me think of yet another actually Facebook thing.
Yeah.
Which is those, you know, those videos where you're like, is this pornographic? Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, is this fetish content stuff?
Yes.
Where it's just like hands rolling dough for too long.
Yes, or they're like, here's mac and cheese. Again, the nails.
Yeah.
Kind of,
yeah.
Which immediately make me think of straight, like, lesbian porn, but it's actually straight women who are really uncomfortable.
Yeah, totally.
They're just kind of pointing toward their clits together or whatever with their nails. So it's like that kind of hand movement, and they're like, we're just gonna put these chili beans onto this mac and cheese, and it's gonna be incredible. Like there's
totally, yes. Viral food stuff.
Yes.
Do you also get a lot of like handmade pasta content? Because that you sort of need a giant counter space to like put down all the flour and then crack the eggs in the middle.
I wish none of
that would be so much better than the nasty shit I get too.
This is like, it'll be like a sometimes it's like a silicone boot. Like, just like pour polenta into the silicone boot, and then later we'll peel the silicone boot, and that's a polenta in the shape of a boot. But I feel like those things are always assembled on a kitchen, like a straight kitchen counter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This isn't like Alison Roman hand-rolled pasta. This is
maybe that speaks to like the futility of the island where you build it and then you're like, oh God, now I have to find reasons to use this. I have to make a polenta boot.
I have to justify it.
Yeah.
I have to justify it.
Yeah.
This is, not to bring it again, this is kind of what I was thinking when I put on the cowboy hat. I was like, maybe I can go work on a ranch for a month. Then I can say I can wear the cowboy hat forever.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes. That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Let's do our final segment.
Let's do it.
George, you do it.
Of course. Anna, our final segment is called Shout Outs. And in this segment, we pay homage to the timeless and incredible straight tradition of the radio shout out. So you're shouting at your friends back home, and you're shouting out something that is bringing you joy, something that you can't live without, something that you maybe want to draw some more positive attention to. And I think I have one.
Please, I would love to hear it.
Okay. What's up, cinephiles and Letterboxd users out there? I want to give a shout out to the movie Yi Yi, which I just saw for the first time in, I'll say, Lincoln Center, baby, last week. Now, this is one of those movies that if you know those annoying film people, they are yapping about it all day long. And you say, all right, well, when am I going to find the time to watch this 3-hour movie from 2000 about a family in Taiwan? And the answer is when it's playing at Lincoln Center and you can go in there, turn your phone off, and not look at Instagram for 3 hours. And you know what? It was worth it going all the way uptown in the rain, because I left with a new appreciation of family, a new appreciation of life, a new appreciation of filmmaking, and a new appreciation for the power of cinema. So I'm encouraging everyone out there to go watch that movie. And also, by the way, all those movies that everyone keeps telling you to watch, and you're like, all right, like if everyone likes it, how can it be that good? Mm-hmm. Honey, it's a classic for a reason. Go watch In the Mood for Love. Go watch The Godfather. Just go watch it, because there's a reason those movies are canonized. And, maybe skip Anyone But You starring Sydney Sweeney and go watch Yi Yi instead.
Woo!
Powerful.
Wow, that's
powerful.
Great.
Yeah, I mostly I agree, and I've been trying to watch things ironically less, or watch things that are middle brow, just because I want to watch something easy less.
Yeah,
of course.
But that being said, that actually leads into my shout out, which is a direct contrast to what I just said.
Okay, go ahead.
Conflict. Okay. What's up, freaks, losers, and perverts around the globe? I want to give a huge shout out to the Survivor television show. I did start watching it in the pandemic, and it I watched a few seasons and I was like, that was fun, whatever, and moved on, never thought about it again. When I got on the plane here, something was wrong with me, and I hit play on whatever season of Survivor was on the plane. And since then, all of my waking hours have been spent watching Survivor. It has been 2 weeks, and I have plowed through 3 seasons, and I have loved every second. I've spoken out loud to myself on the couch being like, that was a really good episode, in a way that's so crazy. And it's just so amazing to feel such raw joy, and to, finally when something clicks, oh baby, I feel part of a large community. I feel, all the Survivor watchers of the last 20 years, entering my soul, and I feel so powerful and held. So shout out to Survivor. I also get Jeff Probst's deal now. I stand him for some reason, and that never spoke to me before. And it's even getting to that point where I'm like, do I want to go on Survivor? And it's like, I don't know, but I'm in LA, and I've gone west, and I'm wearing a cowboy hat in the sublet, and anything is possible. XOXO, Sam.
Wearing a cowboy hat at the sublet.
Damn. Wearing a cowboy hat at the sublet is almost a Lana lyric.
Yeah.
It's not quite. It's actually sort of if Lana hired Max Martin, and they it was the Compromise That Pleases No One is a song called Hat in the Subway, Cowboy Hat in the Subway.
It's kind of close to Chapel Rowan, actually.
It is so Chapel Rowan.
Okay, Anna, whenever you are ready.
Okay. What's up, losers? Just kidding. Talking to all my best friends out there. And I just want to give a quick shout out to the aforementioned first 7 seasons of Wife Swap. It's honestly primetime reality television content. It's so earnest. It's very problematic, but it's more honest about kind of the ways in which it's problematic. Racism hasn't really been dealt with on a mass scale yet. Mm-hmm. We haven't really trained people how to be in front of the camera. And so it's just kind of a beautiful insight to what the great American psyche of television used to be so specifically we're looking at the 2001s, 2002s, kind of around there. And beautiful social commentary, really funny haircuts. really, really problematic themes, and wonderful way to feel lobotomized kind of in the comfort of your own couch.
Woo! I love that. And I actually find watching like extremely problematic reality from the past, it's whenever you're feeling like really cynical about the world, you're like, well, look how far we've come.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Look at culture. Like when I watched America's Next Top Model, I'm like, wow, we are such a different culture now.
Yes. That's a great, yes.
And it's all working.
Do you remember the season where Tyra Banks was going to be a musician?
No.
Oh my God. There's this beautiful departure that she has that she quickly veers back on the road, by the way. Like it's not, she doesn't.
She's like promoting like tracks on the show.
She's like, girls, I have to call you in here. Sit down. This is going to blow your minds. I have a single that I'm putting out and the challenge is being in the video. And if you're bad, you're cut out of the video. And as she's talking about this, she's like crying and it means so much to her. And it's so funny because it means so much to her because the song is so bad and it truly goes nowhere. Like we're not sitting here going, oh yeah, I know which Tyra track that is. We're kind of going,
well, don't tell gay guys they're gonna dig it up and make it a big hit.
Okay. Sorry, gay guys.
Damn. No, don't apologize to gay guys. Apologize to the rest of the world. Who's going to be subjected to it. But I am actually really sorry to the gay guys because the song's not good. So.
Well, it's about to be our favorite, so.
But they're going to ironically, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Wow.
Maybe Gypsy Rose can hop on and do a verse.
Well, folks, please write in to tell us if you are more Eras Tour Paris Review or Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to the Patreon for more top secret personal news from both of us.
Yeah.
Who's getting surgeries?
Yeah.
Who's getting surgeries, etc. Please support Anna's career in all possible ways.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. And I guess that's it. Anna, thanks so much for doing the pod.
Oh my God, thanks so much for having me. I had the time of my life.
Oh, well, huge.
We could not have asked for a better guest, for a better first guest after 4 months of not recording.
God. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.